Hello everyone and welcome to Overtalks. Tonight's subject, or rather today's subject, is, if I can find the title here real quick, yes. So, it's Overwatch 2 Reveal plus the beta, thoughts on it as well as thoughts on Battle Pass and everything else that is pre-beta release. Beta has released today technically, but we'll talk about that a little bit too. So first off, Alice, what's your opinion on just the beta itself? Us getting a second beta and it being free to play. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I think this second beta is mainly just to work out the kinks from the previous beta because there was a lot of issues and stuff. And so they probably just want to see if these changes that they have made are going to work towards the final release. So I'm assuming that is why they have made this second beta. But it does seem that they've made it a little more inclusive to all, even though you do have to purchase for most. But I'm assuming that's what it is, the purpose of it is for.
Now, in terms of it being free to play, how do you feel versus the previous game being pay to play?
Well, I feel that it is going to be free to play since they are getting rid of Overwatch 1. So it is mainly for the veteran members to still have access to the game. Since the game is going to go away, it's just going to be Overwatch 2. They still have access.
When did they say they were taking down Overwatch 1 servers?
I would have to find the the thing for it, but there is in one of the fine print, it does say that Overwatch 1 is going to be non-existent anymore. They're going to switch everything over to Overwatch 2.
I wonder if the non-existence means like they're still going to run servers for one, or if it's going to be just like they're... Because I wonder, will it be like a Destiny 1 situation where the servers are up, there's just no active content drops or events? Or is it like they're just cutting the cord and 2 is the definitive game now?
Well, based on the wording that they used, it seems like it's just going to be 2. 1 is no longer going to exist.
That'll suck.
But which I can see if I can find that. But that is what I have read. Someone shared it at some point. But it's fine print somewhere.
Well, if you can find it, let me know. But honestly, that really fucking sucks if that's the case. Because I was coming into this event thinking, hey, Overwatch 1 will still be a thing. They're going to run servers for it. It won't be like... It'll be like the backlog. Like, there's still going to be like a few servers up and running for it. You could still technically play on it. It just wouldn't be as active. And you have Overwatch 2. But if it's Overwatch 2 is like the newest thing and they're shutting Overwatch 1 down, I can live with the decision. I'm just not happy about it.
Yeah.
Because I feel at that point, well, it's great that you've made a whole new experience. For the people that did enjoy 6v6, you just shot yourself in the foot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
Like, it feels like... Because, like, before I was approaching it where 6v6 is still a thing, Overwatch 1 is still a thing, so if you didn't like Overwatch 2, you could still play Overwatch 1. There won't be any content coming to it, but you can still play it and have fun over there. Overwatch 2 is existing for a modern player base, which is fine. Whatever.
Yeah.
And I expected that's how it'd go, but if there's the fine print that says they're getting rid of Overwatch 1, then that changes my perspective of... I like that it went free to play, but I don't like that it'll be suffocating its brother at that point, because I don't think that's going to help anything. I don't think killing off the first game would help the community in any way. simply put, it's going to be compared to 6v6, and it's going to be compared whether they have it up or not, and maybe they're trying to make it so that, oh, it's down, there's no comparison anymore. That's not going to do anything. There's still going to be a 6v6. You know what I mean? Unless they plan on releasing a 6v6 mode in Overwatch 2, and like a 6v6 comp mode, then I don't think I'd have an issue with it anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So there is this. I have to find the actual like photo that has it circled in the fine prints, but that may take a minute because it was posted to the Facebook Overwatch PC page. So you know, there's a lot of things to go through to find it.
Let me load up this video, this article. So let's see here. I'm just skimming through it.
Yeah, no, you're good.
A tweet from the official Overwatch account shortly after Overwatch 2's release claimed that Overwatch 1 players and Overwatch 2 players will play alongside the same maps. That framing seemingly implied the original game would carry on in a fashion interface Overwatch 2, but both should still exist in some form.
Yeah,
2020,
but it does say, including a confirmation that the original Overwatch will be fully replaced by Overwatch 2 when it launches on October 4th. So.
Okay, so what I think they're talking about is not that Overwatch 1 was going to be abandoned per se, like servers will still be up for it. Because it said specifically that Overwatch 1 players and 2 players will be able to play alongside each other on the same maps. So what that makes me think is that, so it does stay at the very end, 1 will not be able to be purchasable anymore. So you won't be able to buy 1 ever again, or the only way you'll be able to play 1 is through the copies floating around in the like ether already. And so that'll be an extinct function. You won't be able to get it anymore. They won't hold any new discs or any new codes. Okay. You have a pre-existing player base already. The maps that exist that are shared between games, what I get from it is you can still play with those people. So what it just feels like to me is that for a new player base, 1 no longer exists. For the veteran player base, 1 still is there, but you have to... But you can play Overwatch 1, just it's only there for the veterans. Or people that bought Overwatch before October.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm gonna keep looking for that photo, but
because
I understand what you're saying.
So
that's what it means.
That's what I hope it means, at least from my analysis of what was stated in the article. In terms of it going free to play, I feel that, you know, it's going to help things when it goes free to play, because one thing that people say it's going to be a big issue is smurfing, but the only reason smurfing was an issue beforehand is that the MMR system was so fuckered that you essentially, I've discussed this with you before a little bit, but the MMR system got fucked up where a bunch of Smurf accounts came in and over time set the average skill higher than the average player, making it so that if you were bronze and previously in gold, you're still a gold player, but you're stuck in bronze now because the overall average skill level it's comparing you to has been raised over the bar of a normal bronze.
Yeah.
And so that's why smurfing was such an issue, is that you would have people that would get to their highest elo, but Plat, Diamond, Master, and Grandmaster all grouped up together. Because there's not enough people in Plat, there's not enough people in Masters or Grandmasters, or even in Diamond for them to be stacked in their own separate categories. So you have a Grandmaster sometimes going against a Plat player, or a Master going against a Plat player, or a Diamond going against a Grandmaster. There's just not enough people in those spaces So they go down to the lower elo where they can get more consecutive games and not play against the same team 24 times in a row. But then it also perpetuates the issue as it raises the skill bar and more people get locked into bronze, silver, and gold until eventually the majority is no longer in gold, the majority is now in bronze. And that was due to the MMR being fucked over. Being free to play, I don't think smurfing is going to be as big of an issue, simply because when we look at comp, they had to buy an account and then they could level it up from there. But if the MMR is starting at 0, and the way that MMR works now, where it's beforehand it was based off percentages of your stats, and it still has percents now, but it's also, there's fine damage numbers now. Instead of it being a percent with a damage number attached to it, there's the damage number you've done X amount of games that's logged into your competitive stuff. So, like, you can go back and view your stats from X game and X game, and that's viewed into your competitive log. So, it makes me think there's going to be a more in-depth MMR system, which will probably make it so that, you know, comp isn't so hard, try-hardy. But it also means that I feel like smurfing won't be as an issue, because smurfing only became an issue at the end of the game, because the MMR system has been on so long that it hasn't had a reset in a long time. So maybe if they, like, I don't think it'll be an issue right now, but smurfing might become an issue 4 years down the line when we run into a similar issue where the MMR hasn't been reset in a while. If they don't reset it, if they do reset it, then you can stave it off by like 2-3 years. Beyond that, I think it's great. It makes it so that if you like it, okay, great, you have it. And if you don't like it, you didn't waste $20. That's the joyousness of a free-to-play game, is that there's nothing wasted if you didn't enjoy it beyond space on your hard drive that you now get to uninstall.
Yeah, definitely.
So moving on from the initial thoughts of just the basic bare bones thoughts, what do you think about the Watch Point Gibraltar pack? Where it includes the Overwatch 2 instant access to the beta, and then a Legendary Edition which only guarantees you the Battle Pass. Sorry, it guarantees you immediate access to Overwatch 2, which has already arrived. It gives you access to 2 legendary hero skins, only 2, Soldier and Reaper. Soldier looks more like a sea captain pirate, and Reaper kind of has a whole thug life thing going on, mercenary style. You get access to the Battle Pass, which we still don't know the contents of. You get a bunch of virtual currency in Overwatch, a brand new logo, and you get Overwatch Legendary Edition, the original Legendary Edition, which comes with the legendary skins from Overwatch 1's starter pack, which is like all the skins that came out. It's you know, in the short where Mercy is like flying down from the dropship and that Tracer's going out on her first mission. It's all those skins. The pre-game skins or whatever it is. Anyways, so that's what you get. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, I feel like what you're mainly spending your money on is buying Overwatch. Like, yes, you get access to the beta, but you're basically buying the whole new game, which is Overwatch 2, and the Battle Pass, which is, you know, gonna give you that access to the other things, which it's mainly gonna be for the PvE, not the PvP, because the PvP is what is free, because that's basically what they're carrying over from Overwatch 1. So in a way, you are technically paying for another game, because you're paying for PvE is what you're really paying for.
Now,
So while it is still over,
is the battle pass grouped in with PvE, or is it a battle pass shared between both PvE and PvP?
I don't know for sure, but I would assume that it would be for both.
Okay.
Because it's going to be more, based on currency skins and access to different things. So my understanding is that it would be for both, but I don't think we're really going to know until it comes out, unless they do say something specifically toward that.
I don't mind a battle pass. I really don't. It has its pros and cons. I don't like that we're essentially paying Blizzard for doing something they already have done in the past with events and shit for like skins. But what I do like is that it's guaranteed. It is a guaranteed set amount of content that I have, and it dependent on how much I play the game, and that's what I get. Which I feel it also solves the issues of those content patches, of where it's only one skin, you spend one day, win 9 games, and you already have it, and I just waiting a week of nothing. So you do have like directed content that you are knowing that you can get as long as you play the game. Um, in terms of the PvE, knowing that we're probably gonna have to pay for a PvE campaign if we want to play it, I feel the battle pass is a nice merger. That if you didn't give a shit about PvE, you could just buy the battle pass and get your skins and loot to collect. But if you cared about both, you could purchase the PvE and then the PvP. Okay, so you found the text. Overwatch 2 is required for Overwatch 2 game items. Content and players have been purchased. Overwatch 2 pack is launched on the date Overwatch 2 launch, subject to change. Right, so the Overwatch 2 is launched. Date of Overwatch 2 launching timing subjective to change. Overwatch trademark will be replaced by Overwatch Trademark 2 when Overwatch Trademark 2 is launched. Overwatch in-game items and Overwatch Legendary Edition will be usable in Overwatch 2. Season 1 Battle Pass applies to Season 1 only and will not reward access to any future Battle Pass seasons and content. So, okay. So quite literally, Overwatch 1 won't exist.
Yeah.
And it just won't. Okay, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that. That it just will not exist anymore. It's just
Yep, it's going to
dead.
be rewritten and replaced.
That has great potential and also great pain. If Overwatch 2 doesn't do enough things right, it could lead to a very bad schism in the community. And if it does do some things right, then, we might have a good thing in our hands.
But the thing is also, it'll probably already have the people paid for it. So they would already have made money, whether they dislike it or not. They already spent the money.
Now, another thing to note is one can only hope they bring back a 6v6 game mode.
They may probably have it in, say, arcade, possibly.
I wouldn't mind if they had, like, Quick Play Classic and arcade still, and they also had 6v6 roll comp, or 6v6 roll queue in play in, like, arcade mode. Similar to how, like, arcade mode has, like, the different competitive game modes. If, say, I wouldn't mind it if comp was also split up there, like there was, like, normal 6v6 open queue, and then roll 6v6, and then there was like 5v5 roll and open 5v5. Because then you essentially there's no reason to go to 1 anymore. There's literally no reason then, because then there's that 6v6 stuff there in the other game, so it wouldn't matter.
Yeah, they may put it into an arcade, but it doesn't look like they're probably gonna have it as a regular mode.
That sucks. Next up, So I personally think the the watch point or whatever pack is just a waste of money. Don't buy it. Just don't buy it. You're getting Overwatch 2 for free. You're the only thing you're paying for, again, like you said, is the 2 skins and a battle pass. You have nothing. You don't know about it.
Yeah, you won't be able to use it either until October when the game fully releases. So it's just kind of a placeholder until then.
I would say, in my opinion, if anyone watches this, as I told you, Alice, just wait. Wait until like August or September, and if they post any information about the Battle Pass, then make your decision. Because we don't know if it's going to be like Echo skins, where it's going to be like. You know how bad Echo's default skins are?
Yeah,
Where it's like
they're kind of
green,
bad.
yellow, blue, red, purple.
I mean, that's for a lot of the characters, though. It's mainly just a color change, not really a full skin change for those
Yeah,
basic skins.
for those basic skins, but like they have some extra frill to them. Like Zenyatta's
Mm,
Earth skin, while it does only change colors, it changes a lot of colors. Green is the base
well,
color.
yeah. Well, I feel like Zen changes a lot because him is based on, uh, shoot, what is the word? The elements and stuff like that. So there's some characteristics to that. But then say you have
I guess I guess what
like
I'm saying is,
Mora, for example. It's
oh,
literally the exact same skin, it's just a different color. Until you get later on where you're getting the gold skins and then they change. But otherwise all them classic
what
ones are
I
just skin change
what I really
color.
hope is that because it can go two ways. It can either be a bunch of common skins that would be in the normal game already, or it'll be the battle pass will be yellows and purples, like the gold skins and then like the legendary skins or the rare skins. I can I would like it I'd like it much better if the rare skins were in the battle pass, and that like Overwatch 1 there was some common skins, some common rare ones like that. There's just a set of skins, a few commons, a few rares, a few legendaries, a few epic ones
Hmm.
that are in the base game for the characters to unlock over time that everybody has access to, similar to
Yeah.
1. And if the battle pass is, just whatever. But
Hmm.
me knowing Blizzard, they can barely put out more than 12 skins without when they can barely put out 8 skins without compromising 2 whole events in the summertime, I don't think they can deliver on 30.
Yeah, and it seemed that they were saying it was going to be 30 like every season.
Oh,
It's the way they had it. That's
oh,
the way they had it worded, which that's why I had asked you previously about because I was confused because I was like, that's a
I
lot
don't
coming out.
I don't believe they would be able to do 30 a season. That's like the comparison is when you view like a Fallout 76 sheet for all the future updates, you know the last one isn't going to get anything, and you know at least somewhere down the line there's only going to be events for a week. Similar to that, you know something's going to be cut and it's not going to be good, and you're waiting for the stink to come out.
Yeah.
You're waiting. It's like biting into. It's like cutting open a burger, and the outside is cooked, but the whole middle is raw. Not a good time. So wait on the battle pass, see what happens. In
Yeah. Because
terms,
what it showed, what it said, October 4th, Season 1, 30 plus new skins. December 6th, Season 2, 30 plus new skins. So they're making it seem within a 2 month span of time, they're going to have 60 skins come out.
now I do have an article brought up here. I
Hmm.
had one. Where is it? I had one. Um, Era Founders Pack. and I gotta refind it. Let me open up Blizzard again.
Yeah.
It was about.
And then.
It's about changes.
And then the PvE is supposed to come out in the beginning of 2023.
Oh,
so the beginning of next year is PvE.
Speculation on the Junker Queen. So.
On how she works or how people are gonna play her?
Well, from what I analyzed beforehand on the trailer, is that. Oh wait, no, I already did one on the Junker Queen. But I can re-talk about her now. Just give me a moment.
Nope, you're good.
Okay, so how do you think the Junker Queen's gonna go in this game? I think she's broken.
Yeah,
I think she's broken as fuck.
Well, I mean, I think everyone's gonna be different. Everyone's technically, in a way, gonna need a slight rework to be comparable with each other, because while there is these new characters and these new changes, it makes them a little overpowered. Like Orisa currently. Like, that's ridiculously overpowered.
I would say yes, but no. I think, in my opinion, while I do understand that some tanks need to be powered up, for the most part, in the first one, most tanks were nerfed in some considerable way. So like Reinhardt, he got a buff to be able to charge and control his charge and use 2 fire strikes. Although...
and cancel the charge, yeah.
However, the cancel the charge feature was supposed to be something in 1 that they never put into it. The 2 fire strikes, while it is helpful at getting better ult charge, the thing that doesn't help is your shield is nerfed. It was nerfed by 400 points of damage. And now it has the same issue that Orisa's shield had, is that it's paper thin, you can't really use it a lot, and you can only use it to space out damage from you and your team for like 3 seconds. And with damage being increased, I feel like they're really trying to get rid of shields right now, but also shields is kind of what helps keep the gameplay fair. Shields slows the game down just enough to be playable, without it turning into who got the first pick and now they're rolling.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how like Beyblade comp got so infamous before. Is you would have Beyblade comp, you have the Reaper go in, do his Reaper spin, get a boost from Nano, and then tear everyone apart. Kill like 4 people, and then he can get his ult charge back almost instantaneously as it built through the Nano.
Yes.
Similar to that, any high amounts of damage that can just tear a team apart will always continuously roll. And
yeah,
I really want Ryan's shield restored, because like they're buffing characters, and I enjoy that they're buffing them. It's just that the Junker Queen, she has a knife. I don't know if you saw the trailer or not, or the interview they did with it.
I've seen the trailer, but I have not seen the interview. But I do have her abilities pulled up.
So she can throw a knife into a person that does wound them.
Blade.
They do bleed, does damage over time if they're wounded, as long as the knife is in them. If you take the knife back, it pulls them towards you, directly in front of you.
Yeah.
The knife will stay there, though. So if you threw the knife into a Rhine, it'll just sit there. It won't despawn.
Yeah, I feel like there's gonna be a time limit on it for sure, but the way I saw the throwing and, basically bleeding out, I thought of it in a way as being like Ash's dynamite. So it's going to continuously do damage.
I understand that about Ash's dynamite. The thing that I'm worried about, though, is it's not that I'm worried about. So I'm fine with her having, like, a mini hog hook, I guess. She can throw something, pull it towards her. My issue with it is that, unlike a hog hook, where a hog can hook somebody, pull them, and instantly kill them, you get to pull them, you wound them, you're doing bleed damage now, you pull them towards you for a meat shot, they're already bleeding, you heal if you hit them with your knife, you heal if you shoot them with your gun, and you heal if you hit them with your melee.
And then you also have commanding shout.
Which,
as well.
well, that's the ult. Oh yes, you also have commanding shout, which
No,
boosts...
no, the ult is rampage.
Yeah, the commanding shout it boosts damage and damage resistance.
It increases health by 200 and nearby allies' health by 100, and it increases movement speed by 30%.
Okay, so she gains a health boost and a speed boost. I was wrong about the damage stuff.
Yeah, and then she increases the health of her allies by 100.
And then, so I'm just thinking about this. You have a Reaper mix. So you have Reaper's healing output mixed with Roadhog's almost instant kill output. But the knife recharges pretty damn fast, about 3 seconds. If you dislodge it and you don't catch it, it takes like 3 seconds to respawn. So, 3 seconds. A hog hook takes like 5 to 6, I think. 5 to 6 seconds to hook somebody again?
Something like that, I believe, yeah.
Also, the healing she gets is temporary health. And in Overwatch 2 temporary health, you don't gain ult charge off it. And the issue that I start seeing with her is that, similar to Doomfist, the reason Doomfist is so hard to kill, in my opinion, in Overwatch 1 is you don't gain any ult charge off his shield. Off his temp shield, you don't gain any ult charge off it. So if he keeps hitting somebody and staying within the range of, you deplete his temporary shield, but he hits somebody and gets it back, you're not gaining any ult charge off him, so you can't charge up your ult and kill him that way, but you're also not... No one's getting any ult from him, and so you're essentially... He's a free-use player that can just go around and bully people, and no one can gain ult off him, so he's limiting them as a team overall. Similar to how I think she's going to be, where if overhealth, like it is, makes it so you can't gain any ult charge off it, I see a skilled Junker Queen never reaching the point where her overhealth gets too far down. Like, someone damages her, she gets a bit of health back and overhealth, and it's back up again, and no one gains any ult charge off her besides your team, like healing her and shit. And you can't kill her because you either get her low enough to where her health does start giving you charge, or if she gets healed up enough that you essentially only can get in minor scrapes and wounds and a little bit of damage here or there. Similar to why Sigma's so fucking annoying to deal with in 1, where how he has his temp shield up now, you burned it all away, and now he has it back again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Also, I think Roadhog has kind of become semi-useless in Overwatch 2, simply because he is no longer a tank buster. He can still hook a tank and do damage, but if they have armor, which is almost all the tanks, it's a flat 30% damage resistance, so it makes his damage kind of mute, because it's not getting a boost from its original damage, so it's not like DPS where it can still shred through it. He's just not as good.
Yeah.
In terms of overall, though, I think she's gonna be really overpowered when she first comes out. Really overpowered, unless they fix some shit in the beta. Let me see if I can pull up this article. The frequently asked questions. So... Nope, that's the wrong article. Fuck. Where is it? Okay. So, hero balance, pain converter. So one of the articles is talking about some potential things they want to introduce. A pain converter, where if you take damage or if you deal damage, you fill up a resource or can get more healing from yourself. Where they want to experiment more with that. Purge and nullify skills.
Mhm.
They also want to experiment with weakening debuffs
Mhm.
and give more debuffs to like characters to be able to debuff other people, which honestly speaking,
Yeah.
I would prefer a debuff over stun. I would prefer getting debuffed in some way over getting stunned,
Yeah.
because while I like that they remove stuns from the game mostly in Overwatch 2, what I don't care for is they didn't replace them with anything that any character needed. So like, for example, you took McCree's stun away, but instead you gave him a grenade that sticks to an opponent and explodes, but it doesn't deal enough damage to be comboed with a headshot.
Yeah.
Or they did an excellent job with Sombra, making it so she can hack and invis and hack targets, have a 20% damage debuff, damage resistance, negative damage resistance against her, so they take more damage from her and only her. Um,
Mhm.
which I feel would be making some excellent Sombra Zen combos where you discord a target, then hack it, and then have the Sombra destroy their health. One
Yeah.
other debuff they gave was they took away May's freeze ability and made it so she just slows you down now, but she still has
Which,
permafrost.
yeah, I want to say, which in a way is kind of nice.
It's nice that you can't be frozen anymore. What I don't like though is you still have permafrost, which if she taps you, you slow
Mhm.
down instantly, and she can just keep tapping you, and you just keep getting slowed and slowed and slowed, and I don't like that
I
permafrost
mean,
technique.
in a
Because
way, I feel like it's the same as how she freezes you, because she could just freeze you, reload, and then as soon as you're unfrozen, just freeze you again.
well, it's similar to what the permafrost is already doing. Because like if she hits you, you start instantly slowing down to like I think it's 25% your movement speed, and then she continues to fire on you. It gets slowed down to 50, which is awful, by the way. But she's
Yeah.
not freezing you. You can still move. What is not great though is because permafrost is passive, meaning it takes 3 seconds for you to get out of permafrost. So she hits you, 3 seconds later
Mhm.
you're out of permafrost. Well, that's also if she's not hitting you, so you can tap it a little bit,
Well,
reload, and then start tapping again because you're tapping. The issue that some people have come into with the first beta is that if you don't hold it, you just tap it on somebody, you keep going 1 second into the permafrost, making it so they just don't. That you essentially can last twice as long. You're not doing a whole lot of damage, but you are slowing them down so dramatically that they can be picked off really easy.
yeah. As long as your other teammates are paying attention and working together.
I don't like that Echo has
Uh,
a speed boost though.
mm, and would that permafrost be like the same 3 seconds for every character, including tanks?
Yes, because it's not CC, which is why it makes it so
Mm,
detrimental to tanks.
yeah. But at
Honest,
least if they're doing it to a tank, though, at least a tank does have more health than the average DPS. So as long as they're paying attention, they can take her out while she's distracted trying to take care of a
now
tank.
something I will say. Um, what was it? Oh yeah, projectiles got a buff in Overwatch 2 because of the way that damage works
Mhm.
now, and that the way that there's no longer a lot of shields, but there's a shitload of armor, and projectiles don't normally have an issue with armor because it's doing splash damage. So it's
Yeah.
affecting everybody currently. So I feel projectiles got a boost overall because while they do the exact same thing as hit scans now to those targets, because armor is the way it is, projectiles deal more damage, but they're not hit scans, so they're not instant.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? They just like inherently got buffed.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Nothing that I can think of off the top of my head. Um,
Did you get
I
accepted
am
into the
just
beta?
curious. No, I haven't got anything yet for it.
Neither have I.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw Ventus was playing. But so far, I don't think there's very many friends on my. Actually, no. Let me see. I got 1, 2, 3. So 7 out of the 9 people I currently have online are in the beta.
Okay.
So, I mean,
Thank you all for joining us for this Overtalk. I'll be seeing you guys in the next one.